Hey, what's good, everybody? It's me, your hero, Benjamin Banks, and you're watching Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. Joining me, as always, are my co-hosts from the Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks podcast, Rebellious D, and Double OT, Terrific Trav. How you guys doing today?
As always.
Ready to rock.
I like how you're being serious, as always.
As
Trying to sound
always.
like Batman.
What do you mean? I am serious. I am the way. I am serious.
I am the way.
Way,
That's right,
okay,
Trav. Give
this
it to him.
guy. And joining us on today's interview is voice actor Valeria Rodriguez. How you doing today, Valeria?
Doing great. Hopefully my audio is also doing great.
Yeah, it is.
Sounding
Clearly.
fantastic right now.
Yeah,
Great.
There it is.
And it's glasses gang, baby.
Oh yeah, this
G
is a
square.
Everybody
G
got
squared in the house.
glasses.
Square up, square up.
Oh, hold on.
Right.
Do we take them up? Okay. All right. Cool.
We
All right,
can.
yeah, we're good to
I
go.
can't see anything. Yikes.
Mine doesn't
So,
that.
hey, thank you so much for joining us. And before we get into today's interview, everybody that's watching, make sure that you like this video, you subscribe to the channel, and you hit that bell button so that way you're always notified when we have new content here on Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. And D, take it away.
As always, podcast in the description, and I need everybody. If you see the like button in the street, you gotta strike fast, strike hard, no mercy. You click that button. You click them. Don't give them a chance to get away. So
My man came
Yeah.
through you.
Hey, I love it. I love it. So yeah, so let's go ahead and get into it. So Valeria, something that we do here on Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks with all of our guests is we always ask, what is your origin story? So tell everybody who you are.
Well, I was born in Cancun, Mexico. When I was about a year old, we moved to Miami and then kind of ping-ponged around the United States. I moved back to Mexico for a while. I did school there. I think technically middle school, our grades are kind of different. But I moved back to Miami. I think I moved just in the United States and Mexico. I've moved a little over 12 times.
Wow.
Because my dad's a maniac, but I love him. And
that's right.
I went to art school in Miami, and a little before that, I was interested in doing voice acting. But every video that I saw said, "Take theater and like take acting classes." So I was like, okay. So I started taking theater, and then I forgot that I wanted to be a voice actor, and I fell in love with theater, and I fell in love with musical theater, and I kind of kept pursuing that. And actually, thanks to Critical Role, I'm assuming you guys.
Oh
are
yeah.
aware of it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, I know what it is.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, because of Critical Role, I was like, oh yeah, I wanted to be a voice actor. And it was just kind of a thought swimming in my head. And I went to a convention in Florida, and I met Matthew Mercer, and I got like some books
Hey.
signed. And I went as a fan, but there was like this after hours like karaoke thing that all my friends were trying to get me to go to. And I really wasn't down. I was having kind of a bad day because I got to the convention late, and my costume wasn't working. And eventually I was like, all right, let's go. What's the worst that could happen? You know, c'est la vie. When I got there, this guy's standing around in front of me, and Matthew Mercer is doing karaoke, and I was like, he's right there. Oh my God, I gotta film him. And so I take my phone out to film him, and the guy in front of me turns around, and he's like, I know him. And I was like, yeah, okay. And he's like, oh yeah, I've worked with him a bunch. And I was like, okay, kind of like, you know, I didn't know if this guy was like weird or normal or whatever.
Right.
And I was like, man, I really want to go up and sing. And he was like, you should do it. And he ended up being really nice to me. And I was like, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to go sign up, and I'm going to go sing karaoke. So I sign up, I come back, and the guy like continues to talk to me, but he's not being weird. And at this point, I'm like severely underage. I'm like 16. I'm a baby. And this is an older guy, but he was like being very nice, and he was with this other like woman. And eventually, at some point during the conversation, he turns around and he's like, oh yeah, I'm a director for, you know, video games and like different voice acting things. And this is the voice actors for Zelda. And I was like,
Oh wow.
huh? Oh yeah, nice to meet you guys.
Wow.
That's cool. That's really cool. I'm interested in being a voice actor, but that's actually really cool that you said that. And so obviously I'm like sweating buckets at this point, because I was like, holy shit. And the rest is pretty much he invited me to come hang out with them and like have some chicken tenders and tea.
Nice. That is a weird combination.
Oh, yeah.
Tenders and tea. Mhm.
Nice.
We sat in the lobby of the hotel and we talked until like maybe 2 a.m. And he realizes that I'm like really young, and he's like, where are your parents? And I'm like, oh, they're not worried at all. I'm like super straight edge. I like don't drink. I don't do drugs. I like don't have any friends. I'm like a nerd. They're not worried at all. They know I'm chilling. And he's like, okay, just make sure they know, like, where you are. And he's like, here's my email. Give them my email. Whenever we communicate, you can let them know who I am. And pretty much ever since then, he's kind of been, he became my mentor who got me into voiceover. But like the next day, he said, like, hit me up if you're ever in LA. I'll like have you sit in on sessions. And that is exactly what I did. We moved to LA like maybe 4 months after that, because my dad found work in LA. And as soon as I got to LA, I think the day after, he had me sit in on a video game session. I was just watching. And for like the better half of a year, it was just me sitting in on sessions just watching. And he would occasionally send me like little auditions for like little roles and that kind of thing. But it was mostly taking classes and watching and doing all this for like about a year. And then for the next year, it was kind of the same, taking more classes, networking, meeting more people in the industry. And then he introduced me to my agent, who picked me like an apple in an orchard and decided that she wanted me. And
Destiny.
then, I auditioned with my current agency, which is Vox, for about a year, and like radio silence. Like, did not book a single thing. I got maybe one callback during the entirety of 1 year. But then the next year, I booked one little tiny role in a video game, and then ever since then, it kind of like snowballed into.
And that's what we love to do up here.
That's our word.
Love the snowball.
Yeah, we love the snowball.
That's the key word, gentlemen.
Now, usually, Banks comes right on in, when the origin story's done. But I got to interrupt for a minute because we can't snowball past the karaoke situation.
I know. Trav, we're on the same
Come
thing.
on. You didn't even mention what song you signed up with.
Exactly.
Come on.
Well, I didn't end up singing because I thought, business opportunity, I got a network. But what I was going to sing in character, as the character I was dressed up as, was the Teen Titans theme song. I was singing as Robin.
Fire. You were dressed up as what?
I was dressed up as Robin.
Nice.
Oh, that's fire.
I was going to sing it as
fire.
Hey, well, since we're here, how you feel about Teen Titans Go?
My thoughts exactly.
Don't do it. I love it.
Here's the thing. I love that they brought back the original voice actors. I think that's cool.
And it stops there.
This guy.
I
gotta admit, I initially met it with a lot of rage and anger because I was like, new Teen Titans thing, but it's not great.
What you thought it would be.
Doesn't have plot. But then I kind of eased up and I was like, you know what? If kids like this, and if this is like for their generation, I don't want to be like the haggard old person.
The old man on the porch.
Yeah, exactly.
Stoop kid. You don't want to be like Stoop kid.
Let it be. I wish it was something different, but at this point, I'm no longer like a big hater or anything. I don't have the energy to waste on that.
I love it. It is so hilarious.
I feel like some people are like that. Some people, of course, still hate it, but I was one of those type of people as well, where I wasn't a fan of it because DC, they used to do something every Sunday where they would show Young Justice, Green Lantern, and it wasn't Teen Titans Go, but it was something else. And it's like, they were like chibi Teen Titans. And that's what I thought Teen Titans Go was going to be like. But they went whole exit stage left and just went straight comedy. And like you said, you didn't want to be like one of those old people saying, back in my generation, it was a good show and having your fist up. But no, I really enjoyed when they brought the Teen Titans versus Teen Titans Go. And pretty much it was the same voice actors, just voicing different characters. But
right,
it's like that movie was good. And it was just awesome seeing the original Teen Titans. And hopefully with HBO Max, we get a continuation of the series. Because, if they could bring back Young Justice, then we can hopefully get another season of Teen Titans. And how
much more you want?
Hey, you saw what Doctor Strange said. He was just like, we want everybody. So, but something that I wanted to say when you said that you were, making the opportunity, because I'm the same way. It's like, if I can network or anything like that, I want to use a JoJo reference. And I was going to say, so was he your Will Zeppeli?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. I love JoJo.
Trust
I'm not
me.
caught up.
Hey, look, there it is right there.
Oh, yeah, you know.
So look,
Okay.
These guys, they do not like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Okay.
No.
Hey,
Look,
I love it.
weird.
I
It's
love it
perfect.
whenever I have a guest up here that loves JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, because when I was getting the photos for the slideshow, I saw your Jotaro cosplay and I was just like, yes.
Trav, don't worry.
Look, you just gotta
Don't
show them the
worry.
cherry
We in here
scene with
together.
the tongue, and then they'll be hooked.
Hey, we interviewed Kyle Abear and he talked about that scene. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I love JoJo's Bizarre Adventure too. And honestly, we could spend a whole hour talking about JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, but since
we're not going to do that today.
Since we're right here, because I do want to get back to voice acting, I do something on the channel called Who's That Cosplayer, where I interview cosplayers and whatnot. So since we're right here, I want to ask you, like, how did you get into cosplay?
I mean, yeah, basically just being a fan of anime and media and cartoons. My very first cosplay was at a tiny ass convention. Ooh, sorry. Should I say that again?
No,
everybody gets one. You can say
everybody gets one.
ass.
Hey, no,
Okay.
you got to say butt. Don't say ass.
Booty.
Tiny booty convention in Guadalajara, Mexico, and it was small. I mean, I think because Mexico hasn't I don't know if at this point, but when I was a kid, it hadn't fully delved into allowing kids to be nerdy and
right,
that kind of thing. So it was very small, and I dressed up as, I'm gonna say it wrong. Is it Mikasa?
Yeah, you said it right.
Okay, cool.
Mikasa. Huh?
Yeah, I dressed up as Mikasa from Attack on Titan, and it was the most closet cosplay you've ever seen. I pulled little bits for shirts, and I tucked things in, and it was to the point where multiple items would be falling off at different points during the convention, because it was everything was kind of taped together. Yeah. But after that, my third eye got open, because I was like, this is amazing. And it's I think it ties into my love for role playing and for playing different characters. Obviously that ties into acting, but it felt great just being someone different for the day. Not only someone different, but someone cool, a cool character. And even though my cosplay wasn't that good, I got stopped maybe 4 times for people to take a picture with me, and it felt pretty rewarding. It was fun.
Yeah, that's always the best feeling. You know what's interesting, because I interviewed cosplayer Kitty Eves Play, and she's from Cuba, and she was telling me in Cuba, it was pretty much what you were saying about how it was in Mexico. It's cosplay. Well, there, she said people weren't even really allowed to cosplay. I think she said it's different now, but it wasn't until she moved to Florida that she was finally able to fully embrace it. So it's just interesting, when you hear people from different parts of the world, when they talk about cosplay, and it's just we weren't able to do it, or it was just a very small convention and stuff like that. And I saw some of the stuff on your page, and it's you have some pretty badass costumes. I just want to give you a pinkies up for that. And of course, Jotaro's on the screen again. I just did a photo shoot and for Jotaro for part 4. Part 4 is my favorite JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and I know the feeling when you're walking around and somebody stops you and they're just hey, awesome costume. Because I wasn't expecting that when I was at the park the other day. The dude, he was just I love JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. And I was
cool.
hell yeah. If you don't love JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, it's what are you doing with your life?
Bro, we watching One Piece.
Yeah, y'all watching One Piece, and that's problem.
Right. Yeah, you know what it is, Trav. Now, I had I wanted to segue. I had a question of my own. You mentioned attending art school. What type of art? What type of art, or what medium?
Theater.
Oh, literally theater. Okay.
Yeah, it was for theater. I had to audition to get into the school. Granted, it seemed like everyone was let in, but it still felt cool to audition.
Yeah.
I was actually a visual artist first before I got into performance art. I would sit at home and I would draw. I still have them in my my cabinet, just a bunch of comics, and then that transferred into writing, and then eventually it was acting. But for most of my life, I thought I was gonna do comics for my career when I was older.
Now, is that still a hobby that you hold on to now? Do you ever doodle and what? Oh yeah, I figured.
Doodle.
I
love visual art.
What? You got to say doodle, man. Doodle.
Hey, I doodle.
Damn right. Who don't doodle?
Yeah, exactly.
I do have a plan.
All right, Doug.
If I can if I get to a point where I can maybe pause or retire with voiceover, I think it would be really cool to like go to art school, like an art college, or take like some advanced art classes and kind of advance that, because
take some serious doodling.
Yeah,
still got passion for it.
Your hard way.
I got my master's in doodle. Yeah.
So
I got my master's in doodle.
Something that I want to ask you is because I just recently started taking voiceover classes as well, and you saying that you got into theater so that way that you could be better when it comes to voice acting, because like the classes I've taken, it's like you think that you'll be able to just do it and like how we're talking normally right now, but it's like you learn that it's like when it comes to certain exclamation marks, like do I have to be loud here or do I have to be louder and stuff like that. And I just think that it's interesting and easier to get into voice acting because of the classes. And I would love to ask you, like, how different was it when you first got into it to, how it is now? If you still even do voice acting classes as well.
It's been a while since I last took a class, but I think when I started, I was really afraid to play. So I'd look at the copy written as is, and I would, say like down to every period and try to read it like really. I'd like stay in this little box, and then as I've gotten more comfortable, as I've gotten more confident, I've learned to play a lot more. A lot of times they'll pull you back and they're like, we actually don't want you to stray from the script, or we actually don't want you to add those breaths. But a lot of times they like that, and that's what kind of separates you in class or you in an audition or that kind of thing, is that the more comfortable and confident you are, the more you're like, okay, I kind of know who this character is, I can play around, I can ad-lib, I can add like breaths before a line or that kind of thing. And a big thing that I learned was kind of like giving my reads levels, especially in animation. When I started doing classes, if the line was excited, I'd be like, I'm going to the park today! Like, that's it. And now I've learned to like give it those levels where you can start off kind of small and then get big, like I'm going to the park today, or that kind of thing. Giving it that not only like makes it more interesting and fun to hear, but it also makes it like a lot more, I guess, natural, believable, that kind of thing, even for animation, I think.
Yeah, I like that.
Hell yeah.
So what kind of theater were we? Because I mean, I'm a huge theater fan. So what was like significant plays you were pulling from?
My theater days are one big anxious blur, but
nice.
My life is one big anxious blur.
I was about to say.
I did one in middle school, and I think it was called I Haven't Got a Clue. And I had to like fake kiss someone on stage. Initially I said, yeah, I can totally kiss him. And then when it came time to practice, I would come very close and I'd be like, actually I can't. I'm like really nervous. And so I would just fake kiss him. I mean, obviously we did a little bit of like Shakespeare in class, but I can't. Cannot remember for the life of me.
Are you still in the theater or musicals or anything? Like, you still watch them?
Yeah, I know. I love musicals. I don't practice theater right now, and I don't really do any musical things. But I sing Waitress every single day in my car. I love the Waitress musical. I love the Beetlejuice musical. I'm wearing a Beetlejuice shirt.
Hey, hell yeah!
Beetlejuice.
All right.
So, I'm supposed to be going to New York because I want to see Beetlejuice on Broadway. Like, I've never, like, I've been to New York before, but you know how it is where it's like you might go to another state and it's like you're only there for what you need to be there for. And
right.
You can't explore. So it's like I'm taking a week in New York. I'm going to go see Beetlejuice on Broadway.
He ain't invite nobody. He ain't mention
I didn't invite anybody.
Kind of guy he is.
Actually, like, I learned something because I thought Broadway was just like this building that you went to, but somebody told me that it's just like there's stuff that's on Broadway, and I was just like, oh, I never knew that. So I'm looking forward to going there, sightseeing. I might bring these guys something back. I mean, they're always mean to me, so
no, he ain't.
No,
always mean. If this man told you that I hated JoJo, right? How come I showed up with a JoJo magnet for my boy? I found it at the store. I said, my buddy Benjamin Banks would love this magnet. No appreciation for it. No love, no nothing. He mentioned that.
I said thank you. I got the magnet right up there, and then I got D's gift. He got me Proto Man. I mean, I show the gifts that y'all give me. I give you, Trav, I can't even see what's behind you. So whatever, I gave you that Endeavor gift before. Where is it?
Yeah. Right there.
I can't see it.
Take it easy, guys.
Right there above my finger.
Hey guys, we have a guest. Let's not do this.
I'm enjoying this.
And this is what we do up here. We snowball. We argue amongst each other, and
we squabble.
It's like that song. Yeah, we're here to entertain.
Squabblers.
Here we are. And
but I wanted to piggyback and ask you about musicals. You said Beetlejuice is one of your favorites. What are some of your other favorites?
I like Spring Awakening. It's I fell in love with it in the summer of, I want to say 2016 or 2017. I went to an art camp for like really frou-frou people, which I didn't know until I got there, and I realized. But my dad like scrounged the money together to send me to this like really fancy hoity-toity summer camp, and I fell in love with Spring Awakening there, and I would just sing the music and enjoy it, and I didn't realize until later what it was about. It's not very kid friendly. It's about like, kids discovering the birds and the bees.
Right.
Hey, thank you for keeping it PG.
Yeah, it's also about like mental illness and a lot of different complex things, which was kind of fun that I didn't know what it was about at first, because I already liked it, but then as I grew up and as I matured and I realized what it was actually about, I found new things to like about it, and it was like I was discovering new things about the musical. So I really like that one. Like Waitress, Beetlejuice.
Oh yeah, Waitress is great.
It's a classic. I used to love Wicked. I would sing it all the time.
I want to see that too. Like it usually comes here to Virginia, but it hasn't been here since
in a couple years. Yeah.
Wicked is one that I've always wanted to see. Rent is one that I've always wanted to see as well.
Rent is very good, yeah.
Thanks. Have you ever watched Grease?
Yeah, I've seen Grease. I've never seen Grease 2 though.
Grease 2 is okay.
You don't need to.
Okay. Trav's gonna, Trav.
You don't need to.
Hey, my favorite musical is Hairspray. Like I've seen the 80s one, and of course the 2007.
My man loves some Hairspray.
But hey, the 2007 one, that's my favorite. You know what I'm saying?
It's fire.
And I know that I believe that there's a show coming up here in VA. I can't remember what day it is or what date it is, but if I can make it out there, I would love to see it, because Hairspray is just one of those things where it's like the music is just great, the story's good, and I love it. So thank you for sharing some of your favorite musicals. Trav, I'll pass the ball to you.
Yeah, I just want to double back to that real quick, because you just mentioned Spring Awakening and Christy Altamar's in it. And if you haven't seen the Anastasia Broadway with her, bro, that soundtrack is fire. Fire.
What
Yes.
flames do you give it, Trav?
Huh? I give it 10 flames, bro. All the flames. Out of
10 flames.
That's right.
I just had to ask. So I want to take it back to voice acting, and I want to go back to your first role. Like, how was it when you stepped in the studio behind the mic? Like, were you nervous? Were you scared? Or did you go in there and you knocked it out of the park?
So technically my very first role was like some additional voices for a game that still isn't out yet, which is bizarre. It's been like 4 years. And I was surrounded by a group of people. We were doing Walla, which is just a bunch of people doing additional random grunts and groans and all that kind of thing. So that was like, I was very nervous, but I don't really count that as like my first official VO role. My first official one, I think we had to record from home because it was at the start of the pandemic is when I booked my first role. So my booth wasn't as like soundproof as it is now. I was in the corner of my bedroom, like open air. Same thing, had like a big blanket over it, and I think my heart was beating at like 1,000 miles a minute. I was excited and nervous and scared, and like I didn't know. I was like, "Is this right? I'm just doing a weird voice into a microphone. Like, is this really what they want?" But then when the voice came out in the game, I was like, "Oh, whoa, this is cool. It sounds good." So yeah, I was pretty nervous, but I was also like very excited. And I think a lot of times, especially when I used to do like actual onstage theater, I would feel like I had to use the restroom right up until I had to like go on
Know the
stage, and I was like, oh
feeling.
my gosh,
I know.
I'm gonna, I've got like a stone in my stomach, and I was like, I'm not gonna be able to do it. And then I go on stage, and instead of freezing up, I would use all those nerves to like kind of propel like my energy, which is kind of what I did with my first session. I, instead of like letting the nerves overtake me, which is what I used to do like when I was a young kid, I used it to like give it more oomph.
Yeah. Give it that 100%.
Oh yeah. 100%.
I don't. It's funny. Trav, he always gets on me because I'm a professional wrestler, and I get where you're coming from, because there's times where it's just like my match is up next, and I'm just like, oh man, I got to go to the bathroom. But it's like, nah, I'm just gonna hold it, and then I'm gonna go out there. And like, luckily, no accidents have ever happened. But like, I've heard stories of guys who have gone out to the ring, wrestled, and then they had an accident. And like, the worst thing that you want to, have a fan remember is like, oh man, like that guy did a number 2 on himself, or
that guy did a number 2.
Yeah, or it's just like, especially, can you imagine like if somebody's wearing white trunks and it's just like, oh, what's that color up there? So
wow, very interesting.
Yeah,
I wish I could see that. I mean, that's something to talk about after the show.
But I would be embarrassed. I mean, like, you don't want to be that person.
I didn't know you got embarrassed though. So
nah, your boy don't get embarrassed.
That's right.
I go out there, I entertain, and then I go to the back, and then I go use the bathroom, and like that's what I always do.
Thanks for letting us know.
Hey man, that's what I do. Go ahead.
He's gotta have his
No, yeah. I wanted to ask 2-part question. First and foremost, if there was any advice you could give anybody trying to get into what you do, what would be one tip you'd give them? Yeah, I love this question.
I get asked this like maybe once a week, but I'm gonna try to scrounge up something really deep and insightful.
It doesn't have to be deep. I mean, I want the first thing that came to mind, to be honest.
We had one person say don't. So I mean, they said don't do it.
No. There's enough rules for all of us.
There it is.
Besides classes,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a lot of people like focus on impressions, or like doing like I can do Elmo and also Winnie the Pooh, and
Elmo.
That's not gonna come in handy maybe ever unless you like find that niche. And sometimes we get voice match auditions.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly I would tell people to, a lot of times I hear that folks like really don't like their speaking voice, or they're like, I hate my voice, but I want to get into voiceover. And I'm like, no, stop. I want people to like embrace their voice and embrace kind of the uniqueness of it, because sure, if we're talking about commercial, maybe you want the kind of sound that everyone already hears, but if we're talking about like animation or video game, you're gonna want something that like people have never heard before. I mean, the main thing
Something
you're gonna
unique.
the main thing you're gonna be hired for is your speaking voice. A lot of video games are in my speaking voice. Even animation, it'll be my speaking voice, but a little pitched up or a little pitched down. But it kind of it stays in here. It's not like a crazy, wacky voice I came up with. So I think the more comfortable you are with your voice, the more you embrace your own unique sound, and embrace sometimes you're gonna make awkward noises, or sometimes your voice is gonna crack. The more you kind of like sit with that and learn to accept it, I feel like the more successful you'll be in your voiceover career.
Hell yeah. Now the second part, I guess, is staying kind of with the same thing. Obviously you're a voice actress, and you mentioned doing cosplay. What are some of your favorite cartoons or anime?
Oh man.
Give me 2. You can give us 2.
Just
Just
finished
2.
Arcane.
Okay. What'd you think?
It's not child friendly, but whoo!
No, it's not.
I had always wanted to get into League of Legends, but the online community frightens me. So
It's a lot of them.
Should.
Yeah, and they don't play.
So I stayed away from the game, and when a cartoon was coming out, I was like, "That's cool. That's something safe I can get into." I loved it. I really did. Every single time I thought I knew what was gonna happen, it didn't.
Yeah.
It kept subverting expectations in a way I haven't seen from a show in a long time. So I was like thoroughly impressed.
Yep. Good.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
I mean, good show.
Yeah, and we just talked about that too. Like, I'm not into MOBAs, so the game's just not appealing to me. But it doesn't mean you can't branch out and get other people into the lore of what your IP is by doing stuff like that. Like, I'll never play League of Legends.
I think it's
but
genius.
Arcane is sweet. Dota, Dragon's Blood, we really liked, but I would never play the game. I'm not into MOBAs. But now I can be a part of
the community,
the fan base.
Exactly.
Yeah, the community.
Yeah.
The fandom and stuff like that.
I think it would be interesting with you know, how Netflix is doing these series. If excuse me, if they could make like actual either fighting games or beat 'em up games, so that way, you know, fans who aren't into the MOBA games, because growing up, like, I was just never a fan. Like, I would see those games and I'm just like, yeah, that's not for me. But now that you are building this new fan base and, you know, bringing in these new fans, it would be interesting for them to create something that's a lot more simpler to play and, you know, not have to do so much with it, you know?
Yeah, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a big RPG fan, so it'd be cool if they did something kind of in that
see,
space. Kind of
now-
like Skyrim-esque.
You said Final Fantasy?
Skyrim.
Oh, Skyrim?
Skyrim too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, well, you know, since we're here, RPG, what's your favorite?
Golden Sun.
Give me, all right, I'll do with D. Give me two. Two favorite RPGs.
Does it have to be a video game?
No.
Dragons.
Say again.
Okay.
Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
hey, that's where it all started. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
I
we
play
get
every
an A
single week
plus.
with my friends.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, we have a
Yeah,
lot of voice actors.
I have a
who
question.
Come up here and say that, you know, they love playing Dungeons and Dragons. And was it Stuart Allen that was telling us that he loves being the dungeon master?
Dungeon Master, yeah. And he makes like these cool playlists to go with the lore of the story and stuff.
Now,
And, we had Connor up here. He's super into it. So
follow-up question. What race and what class do you run?
So I'm a forever DM, which means I'm always
Oh,
the dungeon
okay.
master. But
I was gonna ask you.
That's okay though. That is very fun, you know, and
my
it gives
first,
you
my
Mhm.
first character was a halfling rogue,
nice.
which was kind of like I was the shortest one at the game store, so
Oh,
it
yeah.
was kind of like
Fitting.
you said Connor is new to it.
no,
I think he said Connor is into it.
into
yeah,
it.
I'm his
Yeah.
dungeon master.
Oh,
you know
since-
Connor.
Since we're
Oh,
here,
I didn't even know that you knew Connor.
Yeah, bro.
He's,
Hey, look.
he's right there.
Small
He's my
world.
roommate.
Oh, for real?
Are you serious?
I
No
could
way.
go and pull him in right now.
That is
Hey,
crazy.
That is wild.
What's crazy about this? Because when I had reached out to you, Connor had sent me a message, and he was just like, "Hey, they're awesome. Like, you're gonna enjoy having them on your podcast." And
That's
look,
wild.
Now, this is the second time that we've interviewed.
You don't relay that
somebody.
information to us, D.
Yeah,
Oh,
I don't got to
Kinda
tell you
got-
everything.
Yeah, it's the kind of
Hey,
guy
I
he
guess
is.
you don't. I guess you don't.
I mean, if I would have messaged them in the Leveling Up group chat, then you would have just been able to read it and see the conversation. But you know, I don't. You know, I like to keep it private.
Hey
Man. You don't
guys,
know
take it.
everything.
We have a guest. Manners.
It's like D trying to be the parent. He trying to be
Alright.
Joe Star. Well, you
Oh,
know, I
he's
mean,
in the
I'm
gospel.
Jonathan. I'm Jonathan, and
Oh,
Trav is
easy.
Dio. So I mean,
Don't
Michael.
No JoJo characters. Bro.
Oh god.
but no, yeah, that's awesome that you live with Connor, and also too, make sure that you check out our interview with Connor. You can either watch it on YouTube or you can listen to it on the podcast, and he's an awesome person. And make sure you go follow him on all of his social media accounts too. And
That's right.
he also did an awesome video where he did the serious voice, and it's like every time I watch that video, it always cracks me up.
Mm-hmm.
But what was the second game after Dungeons and Dragons?
Besides Skyrim, I'm trying to think of like games I used to play as a kid. I don't know if I have any other big RPGs in my life.
What about outside of RPGs?
outside?
Are you in the
RPGs?
tabletop at all, or?
Yeah,
besides-
Dungeons and
besides
Dragons.
D&D.
Well, I mean, outside of Dungeons and
Ah,
Dragons.
that's where it all started.
Mm-hmm.
I like Call of Cthulhu.
Okay.
Okay.
I like normal tabletop board games.
Mhm.
I like. I was a huge fan of Little Big Planet as a kid.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Still mad I can't play the new one yet.
Yes, I mean, just the whole creation aspect I thought was really cool. And
Yeah, I
I would
love
spend
Sackboy.
hours building. Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
That's like the Sims. You know,
You
go
you
ahead.
had sorry, it was I'm gonna scroll over. Rebellious D.
Yes.
Rebellious
Oh no, we
D.
call him Rev up here.
No, just call it. No, you had it right the first. Look at him. Hey, Big Show, chill, show.
Hey.
Rebellious D. You asked
Yes.
me which shows I liked, and I only got to say one. The reason
I
I want to say
know.
the second one
It's okay.
so
What is
bad
it?
is because I'm a huge fan of Adventure Time.
Ooh.
Oh, okay. Nice.
I grew up with that show.
Mhm.
I'm still debating getting a tattoo of it because I was bawling with the last
To
episode.
do it.
Now I have
Definitely do it.
I tell you
It
what.
I have a
If
recommendation
you can ever
for
come
you
to
too.
Virginia, we have a sponsor, Golden Ink Tattoo. They'll hook you up. All
Right.
you got to do is just walk in
Dude,
there.
I already got ink right here. I'm down.
But we hook you up with a discount though. You
Let's
go in
do
there.
it.
Leveling up.
You
we got
mentioned
the
leveling up.
code.
Yeah, you
Uh-huh.
use the code, they'll hook you up. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what we do. But no, that's cool. Adventure Time is one of those shows. It's like I never really got into it, but I have watched episodes and I enjoyed it. I thought Adventure Time, a regular show, like those were pretty good shows on Cartoon Network at the time. And I'm glad that you got Close Enough that's out right now. And we're going to be doing some reviews on season 3 once that comes out. So to take it back to voice acting, because I saw that you were in a video game called Cookie Run Kingdom and you were Strawberry Crepe Cookie. And I want to ask you, like, what was your experience while voicing that character in that game? Because it like she looks like a very interesting character. It looks like Strawberry Shortcake, but a badass.
So I have an important question before we get into that. What's the kitty's name?
The kitty? Oh, Dee's kitty.
What's your cat's
What's the
name?
cat's name?
What's the
Dear?
cat's
He
name?
knocked my headphones out. He's doing it again. Bagheera. We have two.
Bagheera?
Baloo.
Oh,
Yeah, Baloo
wow.
and Bagheera. His sister's
Fire.
name. Yeah.
Is he a boy?
Yes.
Very cute.
Yes. Awesome.
Right. So Strawberry Crepe. Sorry about that.
Yeah. No worries.
Cool.
They're actually one of 2 cookies in Cookie Run, as far as I know. There might be more. That specifically said that they were non-binary, which I thought was really cool. So they use they/them pronouns. At least as far as I'm aware. I don't want to stir up anything. People get really fired up over that.
Oh, absolutely.
But yeah, they my audition for them was kind of strange because the side said it was like a really grounded, serious video game, and I saw that it was Union, so I was like, oh, this must be a big deal. This is gonna be like some kind of like Last of Us type stuff. And then I go into the studio and they're like, here's your character, and then they pop up this picture of this pink strawberry like shortcake crepe, and I was like, oh, what? And they were like, yeah, so basically this is what they're like and that kind of thing. And I actually had a lot of fun during the session. I didn't mind at all that it wasn't what I thought it was going to be, because I had always wanted to play a villain, and in the game they're kind of like an antagonist, a small one. So a lot of my lines were like, things akin to like, you guys are losers and you guys suck, and
Hell yeah.
like
I
just
can hear the energy.
Like
right now.
it's funny. When she started talking about it, it was like, remember the mean kids from Wreck-It Ralph that didn't let.
yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
it reminded me of.
basically like that. It's just I had prior to that, I'd only played like really gentle characters or really nice and sweet characters. So just spending an entire session being a jerk was very fun.
Yep.
But yeah, they're like kind of like a scientist, like really into like mechanics and engineering. And I also always wanted to play like a really intellectual kind of character. Like, I don't know if you know Entrapta from She-Ra, but like a character like that.
You're kind of like that in not to skip ahead, but you're actually part of one of the games that I play on the daily, which is Genshin Impact.
Oh yeah.
And your character there, she's kind of an intellectual as well
Yeah.
and whatnat.
So
I thought that was
Strawberry Crepe is, like,
interesting.
an evil version of that. Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Hey, D, I mean, since you brought up Genshin Impact, man, go ahead.
Oh yeah.
Ask some
Now,
questions.
what are your takes on your character from Genshin? I'm probably gonna butcher her name, but it's like Celarose. How do you pronounce it? Is it? I butchered it. I mean, I knew it.
Rose.
It's Sucrose,
Sucrose.
which is the element
Gotcha,
for,
Banks. Nice try.
sugar.
Ah, look at that.
She's the only character in the game with like a not real name.
Yeah. Well, she got kind of like a Dragon Ball Z name. You know how it's like most of those names are like vegetables and stuff. So
Right.
there's those people. But
Yeah.
I mean, do you enjoy voicing her? Or
Yes,
how was it? The experience
absolutely.
and stuff.
I haven't gotten to voicer in a while because they usually bring me back for like additional quests and that kind of thing.
Yep.
My first session, I think that was the longest session I'd ever done for a character, and
Wow.
it ran for 4 hours. And I wasn't as responsible as I am now, and so I didn't ask for like as many breaks as I should have. And because of that, Sucrose is a very breathy character, so I did almost pass out.
Wow.
Which was it was literally no one's fault but mine, because they were like, "Are you doing good? Do you need a break?" And I'd be like, "Yeah, I'm fine. Let's keep going." Because I was like, I wanted to impress. I wanted to barrel through. And when I got out, I told my agent, and she was like, "No, next time you ask for breaks." And I was like, "Okay, yes, ma'am." But I mean, even with that whole fiasco, I had a lot of fun. I love voicing Sucrose. I think she's super sweet and adorable and cute. And at this point, it's weird how we see the characters we play, because I know that I technically voice her and I kind of like quote unquote am her in a way, but I see her as like a little sister. Like outside of myself, I don't see her as me. I see her as like, you know, someone who like is like my little friend, which I don't know if that's weird.
Yeah. No. I mean, I think it's.
Well, we
fitting.
like to get weird, so that's cool too.
I have a little friend.
Yeah, I mean, it's just.
Okay.
I mean,
I think that was a great
about my
description of
friend
the
Megan.
character.
Like,
Oh. Yeah. She could, or should I say, they could cosplay as her. It fits the
that is
description.
true.
Yeah, that would be a good one. But I think your description of the character was spot on. I think she's very fun. So, thank you for that.
So I want to ask you, this.
I did have a follow up question. I'm sorry.
My bad.
spaced.
Hey,
No.
Hey,
It's
I'm
cool. I
sorry.
paused.
Hey.
So that was you, man. That was
Okay,
you.
all right. Well, hey,
You
thank
had
you.
me.
Hey, thank
Go
you.
ahead.
I appreciate that. I'm coming up to the pulpit right now.
Let's not. I don't get church jokes. I just don't. I take it that as a church joke.
But I want to ask you, because you're just getting your feet wet in voice acting right now, and then you have some really awesome projects that you've been a part of. What are some other animes or video games that you would love to lend your voice to?
So as of right now, I'm working on a project that I'm like pretty much is a bucket list project, which I'm hoping I'll be able to announce within a year. But with those big video games, oftentimes it'll take like 3 years, 4 years. But so that's like a really exciting thing. But I've always wanted to do something in like the superhero space. Specifically, I love Harley Quinn. So if I could like at some point voice an iteration or like be in a show that has her in it or that kind of thing, that'd be awesome. I'd love to be in the next not Skyrim, but I guess next video game from Bethesda's coming out. That'd be
Elder
awesome.
Scrolls.
Fallout.
Yeah, like the next Elder Scrolls game would be really cool.
That'd be badass.
I don't know. I've also always wanted to be in like a romance anime.
Nice.
I used to be very like, as a kid, I used to be like, I'm tough and I don't care about people and I'm a big jerk, but I would actually do like everything in my power to be a nice person. I just wanted to feel like cool and edgy. But
Hell
at some point I
I'm
just
getting the
accepted
Spinelli
it.
vibes.
Easy. You want me to go get the beanie and the coat, Banks?
Yeah, go ahead, put it on.
Oh,
Yep,
yeah, right.
Yep. At some point, I just accepted. I am a huge romantic. I love romantic comedies, as cringy as that makes me feel, because I want to be so edgy. So anything like any anime, like something like Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid, or something really cute and wholesome, I would like.
House Husband.
Something. Life of
the way of the house.
The way of the house
something like
husband.
that,
Yeah, stuff like that. I love stuff like that.
I have a couple recommendations if you like that kind of stuff. One would be
go for it.
Violet Evergarden. It's
I like
a
it.
pretty good series. And then also Words Bubble Up Like Soda Pop.
Oh, that was a really good one.
I really think you'd enjoy those, but
Okay.
I was
those
going to
are
ask you. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Anime.
Oh, yeah,
No, I was
yeah.
gonna say, I love
mean,
the
it's
long
ama-
anime names, which is like I wrote a book
They're
in
amazing.
one summer.
I like them.
Or I went to the park on an afternoon, and like that's
Yeah.
the title of the anime.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's some pretty long ones out there. I was gonna ask you, have you had the chance to see Belle?
I did, yes. I did.
Let's talk about that. What was your favorite?
Hold
song
on, don't spoil that for me.
We're not gonna spoil it, but hey,
even though I've been jamming the soundtrack since
the
the English
soundtrack
soundtrack came out, you know, I love Kylie's voice, man. She's incredible as Belle, but
I didn't see it dubbed. I actually saw it subbed because I was gonna go see it dubbed next.
Okay.
There was a. I was just gonna bust out into song.
Go ahead and do it. Go ahead. I
can't remember the melody. Is
it the song? Is it the song at the start of the movie?
It might be. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I got that on my gym playlist. It's called You. Like as soon as they go into that song. I like
that one.
So does the song after that goes super hard. When like they go to the town and they're playing that super upbeat song with the drums. Like it's real fast and upbeat.
Yeah.
Bro, that jank is lit, dude. I love that song. I be jamming.
Did you like it? Did you like the movie?
Yeah, I really love the movie. Before I get into that, I just want to say my favorite song is "Lend Me Your Voice." Like, I had that on repeat. Then when I was at the gym earlier, I kept on listening to it, and I had hit my friend up, and I was just like, "Yo, I feel so weird listening to the soundtrack of Belle here at the gym because you know when you're in the gym." You know, you're supposed to I listen to anime music, but you know, this music, it's something special about it. You know, I was listening to the music from Encanto and now I'm listening to the music for Belle. But yeah, I love the movie. I want to see it subbed. The only reason why I went to go see it dubbed first was because I saw the dub trailer and I'm one of those type of people that I supported dub and I supported sub. But I know that there's some people that are out there that they thought it was okay. I think it's perfect. I gave it a 10 out of 10. Okay. What about you?
I actually, the reason I wouldn't give it a higher score is because that same studio made Wolf Children.
I love Wolf Children.
Yes,
they did The Boy and the Beast too.
Boy and the Beast. I haven't seen that.
Oh,
I haven't either.
Check out Boy and the Beast.
Put that on the list too.
Put that on the list. So good.
Put it on the list.
We had just, my best friend and I had just seen. She's also a voice actor, Annalisa Fisher. We had just seen The Wolf Children and. We were bawling our eyes out. We thought it was beautiful. We thought it was amazing. So when we saw that, you know, Belle was coming out by the studio, we were like, okay, high expectations like through the roof, right? I think my main note, not going to give any spoilers, was I actually enjoyed the real life stuff a lot more. I thought that was like a lot deeper. I thought the character building was a lot more interesting. And it might just be because I have seen Beauty and the Beast. Obviously, it's based on that. I've seen it, and so maybe I knew what was gonna happen. But yeah, for the most part, I found myself genuinely enjoying a lot of the more grounded stuff a lot more, which surprised me because I'm a huge fantasy nerd.
Yeah, the stuff in the real world, and that was one of the things that I loved too, is that they were two separate animations. Like the animation in the real world, it looked more realistic, whereas in it looked more like a VR game.
Like a VR,
yeah. So I thought that was interesting. I love that it's based off of Beauty and the Beast, but it's not 100% based off of it.
It's super loose.
Yeah, and like you said, the stuff that goes on in the real world, I love the message that it has in the movie, and I highly recommend it. I really hope that it becomes one of those films where it's like, I want people to go see it in theaters, but at the same time, if you don't go see it in theater, I hope that it blows up when it's available for everybody to watch at home, because that's the same thing that happened with Encanto. Like, it came out in theaters, and a lot of people didn't go see it.
Your boy saw Encanto in theaters.
Yeah, I wish I saw it in theaters.
Nobody else saw it except me, I feel like. I don't know anybody else.
I saw it at home.
You and Beck was the only one.
Yeah, and it was just as good. That movie, the music from that movie really grows on you.
It does.
Yeah.
I love the instrumental behind it. It's just sweet.
It's Lin-Manuel, man, of course, bro. It's Lin-Manuel. But
we don't talk about
hey, I just want to say one thing about Belle real quick before we move on. I've seen that trailer like 30, 40, 50 times, and I'm so scared that I love the soundtrack and the trailer so much that I've set myself up to be disappointed when I see the movie.
Not gonna be disappointed
because I've built it up so much. It's one of the best. I think it's the best trailer I've ever seen in my life.
It's a good trailer.
Bro, the trailer had me teary-eyed. That's how good the trailer was. I was like, bro, I don't know if I can emotionally handle this movie, bro. This trailer already hit me.
You gonna go watch this movie in theaters, bro, and you gonna cry. Like it's a good movie.
Already
Like,
expected.
hey, your boy, he was getting teary eyed, man. Like it's a good movie. Like real talk. That's why I give it.
Hey, we softy romantics too over here. That's what we.
Hey,
do.
that's what we do, man. You know, I still got to see the Violet Evergarden movie, but I'm sure once I watch
that thing good, man.
That thing good.
That thing
they
good.
said
That thing good. I like that
good.
sentence.
Real Southern for you.
Mhm.
That thing real good. Catfish nuggets. That thing real
Them
good.
catfish nuggets.
Oh, God.
You're from the South?
No.
No, I
Dirty,
just
dirty.
have a weird accent.
Not at
A
all.
lot of people
No,
think
look,
I am.
Sometimes I get into it and I get like a Southern accent too, but if you think about it, I'm the most Southern because I'm from Mexico.
Yeah,
absolutely.
that's interesting.
And I grew up in Key West, and I've been to Cuba. You know, Banks brought up Cuba before I got to go to Cuba playing soccer, and
You play soccer?
yeah,
Played
that's
soccer?
yeah,
What position were you?
dude, right forward.
Okay, I was
She said that like she'd take you
I
out,
was
Trav. Be
defense.
careful now.
lower left defense.
Yeah, that's right.
All right,
I
all right.
We play two different positions, D. We
yeah,
on the
I know.
same
Once she
team
said
right
it, yeah,
now.
I
We
see
ain't
it,
going
yeah.
against
Same team.
Be careful.
You find out
Careful,
something new every
Trav.
day. You know, I mean, I've
Yeah.
known Trav for years. I never knew he played soccer.
Oh, bro, you did it?
Nah, you never mentioned it.
Yeah.
Trav said you never asked.
9 years, bro. Your boy was on the travel, dude. Soccer's serious in Key West, man. My coach was Cuban, and you know,
Oh yeah.
I was on the travel team at age 8, and yeah, soccer was life, bro, for me growing up.
That's where I played soccer
yeah.
in Miami. That's where I played.
Yeah.
Not US, but you know.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Well, we went up, man.
Respect.
Bro, I remember we went up to West Palm Beach and did karaoke. I sang "Born to Be Wild," and then we got our asses handed to us the next day and went home.
Yeah, we lost too, so don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So I want to ask you, because you said that, you know, you did a lot of traveling when you were younger. Did you ever make it up here to VA?
Oh yeah, yeah. I would. My goal is to go travel as much as I can before I die. I'm a big I
Same.
love.
Free spirit.
Yeah, I love seeing like different cultures, different like verbal like takes and slangs and food and
Yes.
points of
Yeah,
view.
like
And I
catfish
think-
nuggets.
Even though, yeah, I'm down. I'll do it.
Oh, I love catfish nuggets.
Oh yeah, they're good.
Never had
Serious.
catfish
In all.
nuggets.
Come on, man.
I will say that moving around so much was difficult because I never had any like really long-term friends.
Right.
Yeah.
So that was a little hard, like having to pick up and like move my entire life so often and like make completely new friend groups. I was always like the weird kid or the odd one out, but it also like the trade-off is that it made me a little bit more worldly and more mature at a younger age, which I thought
Right.
was at least a little cool.
Hey, well, you
So,
up
I
there all
mean-
leveling up with Benjamin Banks, and now you got 3 new friends. And you know, since you and Connor live together, you know, I can just send the breadsticks to one address. And
The one
Yeah,
address.
that's right. That's right.
Hope they won't
hey,
be
we
stale.
like Olive Garden. We like family up here. I'll throw in some extra breadsticks, but
Oh
do, yeah.
gosh.
We love
Just
bread.
add water.
but go
So-
ahead, D. You were about to ask a question.
Yeah, I actually have a few. First off, I just wanted to know, you mentioned doing the first session was a 4-hour session for Genshin. Is that the longest? Or is that, I guess it's kind of like a 2-part, is that the longest one you've ever done? And is that a long session for doing voice? Like, you know what I mean? Like, is that the longest one you've ever done?
Yeah, I think I can't remember what the rule is, but I'm pretty sure we're only allowed to work 4 straight consecutive hours. And I think
Based
we-
on health? Like, is that a health
yeah,
related
I
thing?
think it's for the actors' benefit, and I
Mhm.
think I'm pretty sure if we go any longer than that, there has to something to do with like pay. We get more or something like that.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah,
See.
but
I love knowing the ins and outs just because, you know, I wouldn't
yeah.
know that.
that's
You know,
that
those
tends to
stipulations.
You want to be all up in your business.
Come on,
You
man,
know what I mean?
relax.
A
relax.
regular session for me is like 2 hours, and
Okay.
even if it's like I'm dubbing a live action show right now.
Mhm.
Even though it's ongoing and they technically need like as much
Right.
recording for me as they can, we still take it at like 2-hour increments at a time. So usually a long session will be considered a 4-hour session.
Okay. All right. All right. And I guess I'll just keep rolling for a second here.
Hey, keep
now,
rolling.
you
Keep on
mentioned wanting to travel and see as many different types of cultures, slangs, etc. Which, like, are there any that really intrigue you, or places that intrigue you as far as wanting to go to? You know, cost and all that aside, like, where are some places you'd like to see?
I mean, the obvious one is Japan.
Of course, that doesn't count.
Yeah.
That
Well,
doesn't count.
fair.
Sick
My
place.
best friend has family in Ireland, and the Irish people are very different from my people.
Yeah.
So I want to go see what that's all about. I also
Yeah.
love Irish accents. I love greenery. I love forests and trees.
It's the right place for you then.
Fresh air.
That's one of them.
Yep. Nature. So I really want to go and like just go into the countryside and that kind of thing. Same with Japan. Rather than go straight to Tokyo, I'd go to like the countryside or like a hot
Yeah,
springs.
that doesn't get advertised as much, but it's actually beautiful.
Yeah, you just always
Never
in the
gets
city,
advertised.
and that's it.
Mhm.
Like even friends that I've had that have gone to Japan, like that's all they do. They're just in the city. They go to the restaurants, they go to the stores and whatnot. But it's like they never like go out to the countrysides or anything. And I feel like when you explore places that you might not have the chance to go to again, I feel like you should try and look at as much stuff as you can. You know what I'm saying?
Sometimes you can't cram it all in. I mean, you can't see everything at Disney.
Time
World
flies when you're having
one trip.
fun.
You know, you got to pick and choose what you're gonna see at Disney.
I mean, I get that. I mean, it's just like I was saying about New York. You know, I went there, did what I had to do, but it's like now I want to go there and I want to try and see as much as I can. With wrestling, it's cool because it's like before the pandemic, we were able to travel to so many different places, and sometimes you can get a glimpse of seeing something interesting, but it's like to actually like just walk around and see stuff. Because when we went to Florida, like me and the other two guys that rode there, we had never been to Florida before. And it was just interesting seeing like some of the stuff that was down there. I really wanted to go to Super Saiyan, like the ramen Dragon Ball Z thing place.
But that's in Tampa Bay?
Yeah,
up in Orlando, right?
Yeah,
it's in Orlando.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay.
It's in Orlando.
Right.
And there's also a Naruto ramen place down there too. We were near Fort Lauderdale. So yeah, so we were nowhere near those places, and we drove too. It was like a 13-hour drive. So yeah.
Yeah, when we moved to Virginia, it took us 3 days to get from Key West to Virginia, bro.
Yeah, man. It's crazy. So I want to ask you now, when you're not behind the microphone, what are some of your hobbies that you like to do? We've heard video games. We've heard that you like to doodle. What are some of your other ones?
Doodle.
I wouldn't call it a hobby just because I naturally do it as I move through life, but I love singing. What I would consider as hobby is I love to write songs. I'm a singer-songwriter, so I'll whip out my acoustic guitar and I'll like write music, and most of the time it's not great and it goes nowhere, but it's like, I don't know, I feel like it's working out a muscle. It's fun. I feel like D&D takes up the other 50% of my life. I have like all the books. I have dice and miniatures and like rolling trays and notebooks. And sometimes I'll just sit down and I'll read about it. Before I made friends, I would just stay home and play video games, and that would be my hobby. But now I find that there's less time for hobbies because I'm like at my friend's house just hanging out.
Right.
Which is like the cool thing when I have friends, right?
Yeah.
That's interesting too, because a lot of voice actors that we've interviewed, like Deneen Melody was one where she was telling us when she was coming up, she didn't really have a lot of friends either, and all she really did was just play Final Fantasy. And it wasn't until she started moving around, like, and meeting people in the voice acting community, like that's where she really started meeting and having friendships. So it's interesting when you hear that from so many different voice actors, that it's just like, yeah, I didn't really have friends growing up because I was just always moving around. And like you said, with your dad being in the military and whatnot, it's just like you don't have time to build those friendships and build those bonds,
I think they said their dad's a maniac. I don't think they said their dad.
Yeah, I don't think they said he.
This dude Banks just making up stuff.
Yeah, he sleep. He tired.
You know what it is? Yeah, his jaw. You just made his jaw.
He's still at the sermon.
I'm
No,
sorry.
You know what I'm saying?
He wasn't in the
Catfish
military,
nuggets.
but it was
Catfish
it
nuggets.
was near close with how many times we moved around.
All right.
Yeah, my bad. I
do.
just assumed that
It's
because
okay.
it's just like, when people
Never assume.
I know,
Yeah.
that's why
Don't
I
assume.
apologize.
It's fine.
It's
Hey,
okay.
come
I'll
on,
take
Big
it from
Show.
here, big guy. Yeah. Well, no, but I do have we're getting close to closing up shop, but I wanted to ask,
Closing up shop.
you have a pretty good like Hispanic accent. I mean, your pronunciation of, your
Yeah, I saw the demo
is
reel.
nasty. Now, I wanted to ask, can you cook Mexican or Hispanic? Is it Mexican?
Mexican food?
Yeah. Can you
Yeah.
cook?
I mean, here's the
Like
thing.
go-to dishes, nothing like, you know what I'm saying? Don't Gordon Ramsay.
Yeah,
it
and
or
also
nothing like that.
I want to add on to that, D.
Yeah.
I'm gonna piggyback
Let's
off
go.
you.
Let's go. I'm
What's-
waiting for you.
What's the main difference between like authentic Mexican dishes and Tex-Mex that we're accustomed to up here in the States?
Shortcuts.
Because I hear it's not even the
Shortcuts,
same
I think.
thing.
I think it's shortcuts.
I'm gonna just start off with I recently started living with roommates, like, let's say maybe 7 months ago or 6.
Those
Mhm.
friends,
So I'm-
baby. Those
Oh, yeah.
friends.
I'm new
Mhm.
to the living alone lifestyle. Up until then, I was like blessed enough that my mom was cooking for me up until I moved out,
Oh,
like
yeah.
cooking for our family. So that I didn't realize how lucky I was until
Oh, yeah.
she wasn't cooking for me anymore, and I'm living alone. I'm like, oh, that's like a big thing, isn't it? I spent a couple months Uber Eats and Postmating, like McDonald's, Burger King, and I was like figuring stuff out. I was too overwhelmed to even think about cooking. And recently, not sponsored, I started HelloFresh.
Okay.
And, it's actually really good, and it's like fresh home cooked meals, and I really like it. But outside of that, I can cook Mexican dishes, a few, and that's only because it's pretty simple, like a quesadilla, or there's something called enchiladas and enjitomatadas.
There it is.
So enjitomatadas are like enchiladas, but they're not spicy. It's tomato sauce instead of like hot like, pepper sauce.
Right. Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's
I
just
love
like
enchiladas though.
oh yeah,
Hey.
it's basically a taquito with sauce on it, and then
Right.
we grate. I think it's called cottage cheese. We
Mhm.
call it queso fresco.
Right.
So,
Uh,
enchilada. Say the other one more time and we can wrap this thing up.
Enjitomatada.
Yeah, we're good there.
Okay.
Banks?
Hey, I was gonna say, are you more of a corn or a flour tortilla person?
I used to be very much a flour person, but as I grew up, I became more of a corn person. And as for the Tex-Mex
Hell yeah.
thing, we don't use nacho cheese or orange cheese.
Right.
Yeah, it's a
In
shortcut.
traditional Mexican dishes, we use queso
Yeah, man.
fresco or sometimes mozzarella. But I feel like that's one of our biggest differences. And we don't put guacamole on everything or sour cream on everything.
Hell yeah.
Fine. Well,
That's
I
more of
do.
an American
Let me
thing.
just
Okay.
say that.
Yeah. All right, Trav.
So,
Mhm.
question I have for you, and then this is going to kind of segue into D's final questions that he always has, is like when I was putting the slideshow together, I saw that like you're big into horror and stuff like that. And, the spooky season is like one of our favorite times of the year up here on the podcast and whatnot. So I wanted to ask you, like, what are some of your favorite moments that you like to do, like activities and whatnot around the spooky season?
I love Halloween Horror Nights.
Mm-hmm.
Big fan of that. If I can find like a local haunted hayride that's like
Right.
just dangerous enough to actually be scary, that's fun. I like to watch scary movies with my friends. We'll all get together, watch scary movies. If we can like
classic.
find little crafts to do, like little kitty crafts, where we'll
Right.
like paint pumpkins or like do macaroni plates or something like that.
Mhm.
Something
Hell
nostalgic.
yeah.
That's fun.
Throwback.
I love this.
And most recently I've been buying my costumes, but if I like have time to make a costume, that's also fun.
Hey,
Hell yeah.
that's what happens when you're a cosplayer. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
right.
It's like,
That's right.
I mean, going all the way back to the first time that you had went to a convention and where you are right now, like I think that's just awesome. I did want to say when you said scary movies, it was a dumb joke, but I was gonna be like, oh, well, which scary movie was your favorite? And I'm talking about the one with the Wayans brothers. So.
Right.
Yeah.
That's...
I don't know if you ever seen any of those movies. I mean, like
Cricket. Way to go, Banks.
Look, if you say the title of the movie, I might know, but I'm.
Oh no, that's what they.
No, it's called Scary Movie.
It's called Scary Movie.
Oh, Scary Movie. Yes.
Yeah.
Of course. I like the one where I forget her name, but she falls in love with Jigsaw, and they have like a Jigsaw baby.
I think that's 5.
5? Yeah.
Yeah. 4? No, 5. I can't remember what her name
I
was.
will say that those movies ruined Scream for me because I hadn't seen Scream yet. And then I watched
get the
those.
weather.
Most recently, my friend showed me Scream last year, and I was like, "It's Dookie," and they were like, "No."
No, it's not.
The first one, yeah.
It definitely takes the edge off of it.
It does, yeah. I wish I hadn't seen them before I actually saw Scream, but I'm a big Scream fan now, so.
Yeah, because they took a lot of the. Yeah,
it was a lot of scene for scene. Yeah.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
You saw Scream 5 yet?
Did, yes.
You liked it?
My one note or my one like thing that I would say is that the legacy actors carried most of it.
Yep. It's a lot of what I heard too.
I still haven't seen it. I gotta add it to the list.
We ain't gonna talk about it.
Gotta add it
we
to
know.
the...
Oh,
well, I mean, I still gotta see Scream 4 too. So.
How you not seen Scream 4 yet, bro? It's been
come on, Trav.
They literally came out with a
Hey,
10-year anniversary
I just
box.
watched all the Disney movies, man. You see that?
Trav, let them go.
I started on the Studio Ghibli movies, and after I finished watching those, I don't know if I should start on Lord of the Rings next or Harry Potter.
Lord of the Rings. I told him Lord of the Rings is visually beautiful. Those are amazing movies.
I just have a lot of movies to watch. I mean, like,
the Hobbits. I mean, this guy.
Hey, don't come at me like that. But D, go ahead and take it away.
Hey, let's get
all right. Yeah. Now, one question I like to ask all of our guests. It's 2 questions, but first I want to start with: when you were growing up, was there anything that really spooked you, scared you, stuck with you? As far as horror movies, it could have been a soundtrack, a certain scene. What you got? Yeah, that's right. Pause. Think. Dig deep into your evil memories. Yep. I mean, even if it was just a soundtrack from anything, we've gotten some pretty interesting answers off this question. They have.
Yes,
I mean, sometimes. Yeah. What you got?
So the first time I saw Poltergeist,
there
was something. For the most part, I was like, it's like a scary movie. I wasn't super horrified, but there was something that deeply unsettled me about the last part, where I think they're like the skeletons or like the corpses, the tombs are rising up out of the old prison.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty...
and it gave me chills. It gave me goosebumps, and it deeply unsettled me the way that they looked. And I later found out that they used real skeletons.
Yep.
Yeah.
They sure did.
It's so strange how, like, somehow, some way, our brains recognize that little shift in the uncanny valley and like know when it's real, because I didn't know what it was, but it deeply unsettled me. And then when I found that out, I was like, oh, ooh, weird. It gave me chills right now. I'm like, it's so creepy. But yeah, I would say that.
Sometimes you just know.
Hold on
now,
real quick, D.
Yeah, go ahead.
Before you ask the next question, did you ever watch the Poltergeist remake? And if you did, how did you feel about it?
When was it remade?
Oh, hey, well, don't ever watch it. That's all I'm gonna say.
All right, never mind.
I want to.
Bang, this guy.
I feel like it was like 07 or something.
No. It was like 2011, 2012.
Oh, 2011. Okay.
I didn't see
it.
It sucks. Don't watch it.
Yeah, you don't want to watch it. I just wanted to ask because we live in a day and age where most movies are being remade, and sometimes like Pet Sematary, for example, like I like the remake of Pet Sematary more than the original Pet Sematary. Not saying that the original still doesn't hold up and it's not good, but I just like that they went more in depth with certain stuff in the remake. But D, continue.
I just next question, I wanted to know favorite 80s or 90s movie or both.
I never watched The Outsiders, but I love the book, so I guess that doesn't count. Gosh, I feel like I have it on DVD.
And this doesn't have to be horror related, just your favorites. So
I'm a sucker for Grease because I love
I love Grease.
I'm just
It's
saying.
just that second one is.
Nah, man, you gotta get. Look, the second one had some sweet. It had good music in it, Trav. I don't care what you say, and it had Michelle Pfeiffer in her prime.
Isn't
So just stop. Just stop.
Is Beetlejuice 90s or 80s?
80s.
It's like late 80s.
80s.
It's 89,
Gotta
I
be
believe.
Beetlejuice.
Be cool.
Did you ever watch the animated series?
No, and
Whoa.
I've been trying to find it, but I think they only have it
Yeah.
on like DVD or something.
Hey, I'll
Oh.
sing
Hey,
you.
now
On that,
You
on
know
that
where to
same,
find- yeah,
yeah,
on
I'll
that
sing
same
you.
line. You ever seen an old cartoon called Real Monsters?
Ooh.
It
on
would
Nickelodeon.
come up and I would switch it off.
Ooh.
Oh,
Wow.
And I don't look. That's not. I'm not trying to roast like the writing or whatever, but the character design. I just really turned me off of that show. I like could
Actually,
not
I
watch
understand that.
I actually thought that kind of that stuff like that gave way to things like Monsters Inc. That's what it reminds me of. Except they were living in like the sewer or something like that.
It lives in the
it's
sewer.
And
interesting.
you
An
know
old
that they're supposed
crumb.
to be coming out with a spinoff
Yeah.
called
It gets-
Humans Inc., right?
Thanks,
Okay.
Banks.
All right, whatever.
Thanks, Banks. What would I do without you? Big show.
Way!
Way.
Hey, look. Hey, I'm on my Disney. Well, no, I think I'm almost done with all the Disney. I think I just got to watch Cars. Yeah, Cars is the only thing that I have left. Oh, yeah, and
Yeah.
Pirates of the Caribbean. I said
This guy hasn't seen Pirates of the Caribbean. Anyways,
Is that,
or
it?
Lord of the Rings. It's
Oh,
just.
we got a 9.
I mean,
or...
hey, this is
Is that the best you got? Ain't that what you say?
No, it's just yeah, that is what I say. But no, just hey, she gave her answers. Let's leave it there, guys.
All right. Hey, so
I thought they were good answers. I mean,
yeah, they were good answers.
everybody doesn't
I
get
didn't say they
both.
weren't.
Mine's
Everybody
Shark
doesn't
Tank.
get both.
I don't. Jurassic Park. That's a good
Oh
one.
man, love some Jurassic.
Yeah,
Indiana
come on.
Jones. I like.
Oh,
all
there
the
you go.
classics.
I like that one better.
Okay. All
That
right.
Andy.
That's the one where the
Andy.
guy's face melts off.
When it melts.
Uh-huh. I like the
Yeah.
one where he
Let's
gets
go.
his heart snapped.
Which
Uh-huh.
one? Was
Maybe.
that where they had to choose the goblet? I can't remember what it was called. That was it the first or the second one? I can't remember.
I'm going with the second one.
Yeah, I think so. But hey, we at the end of the episode, so thank you so much for joining us. You know what I'm saying? It's just like we always appreciate when we have really awesome guests. So before we let you go, let everybody in social media land know where they can find you at.
Tootsie, if you've seen Tootsie, I like that one. It's from
Oh,
the 80s.
Tootsie?
Check it out.
Very charming film.
All right. You can find me
Thanks,
on
Trav.
YouTube. My YouTube is Valeria the Wolf. Right?
Valeria.
I love wolves. I have a tattoo of a wolf.
Hold it up to the camera so everybody can see it.
It is. It's hard to see because it's kind of like positioned weirdly on my arm, but he's right there.
Oh, I can kind of see
Yeah, I
it.
can kind of see it.
Okay.
Oh shoot! I'm using my phone as well.
Self-destruct.
It's cool. All right, Michael.
You see that?
Michael. Yep.
Fire.
Mike.
Instagram is Valeria Rodriguez VO. My TikTok is Val Rodriguez VO.
Ooh.
And my Twitter is Elvis Badger. So that is like I
All over
didn't
the
realize I was gonna be like a media figure when I made my social medias. So they're kind of all over the place.
Hey, make sure you make that TikTok too, because that's where all the kids are.
I am technically one of the kids, so yeah.
Yeah,
Hell yeah. I love that answer.
We're all
Just
kids
turned
right
21.
too.
We're all kids right here.
Yeah, we're all kids right here. You know what I'm saying? So, thank you so much, Valeria. Trav, let everybody in
Hey.
social media land know where they can find you at.
That's right. I'm on the Instagram at ZK Audio. I'm on the Twitter at TRAVIOSZK, where I'm also on Letterboxd ranking and rating my daily movie watches. D, where they gonna find my man?
You can find me at Reverend. Excuse me. You can find me at rebellious_D23 at Instagram.com. Hey, Banks, if they need a Reverend or a hero, where can they find you at?
Hey, I'm surprised that you didn't go with a Big Show joke, but you can find me, your hero, Benjamin Banks, at KingBenji_Banks on Twitter and Instagram. You can find me on Facebook at Benjamin Banks. I should be the first person to pop up. If not, then I need to contact Mr. Zuckerberg. Thank you again, everybody, for watching this new episode. Make sure that you check out some more of our interviews, reaction videos, and reviews that we have here on the channel. Like I say every time, keep that pinky up, stay positive. We'll see you next time on Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. Peace.
Thanks again, everybody, for watching another episode of Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. Make sure you like, follow, subscribe to the channel. Podcast, we got that too. Make sure you give us a thumbs up and hit that bell for further episodes and notifications. Thanks a lot to our patrons. And if you don't mind, join the Patreon. We'll be having new specials coming up soon.